Hello. Welcome to my 31st October. I'm Lucky27, and this is a series of stories I have often told about my life. Today's story is entitled, The Winchester Mystery House. This story was requested by a subscriber who already knows the story, so I hope I cover it the way she wanted me to, since the only thing she said was, tell the Winchester Mystery House story. It's a good one. For anybody listening that doesn't know about the Winchester Mystery House, I'll give you a short but sweet lesson. Sarah Winchester was married to William Winchester. His father was Oliver Winchester, who was partially responsible for the gun that won the West. They had one child, Annie, who died after only 6 weeks of being alive. Strangely, the child was born and died the same year said gun was created, which I believe was 1866. Oliver died in 1880, leaving his wealth and business to William, who died the next year, leaving the fortune to his widow, Sarah. She developed arthritis and was told that warmer climates would help. So she moved to California, where she began renovating a farmhouse into the wonder that it has become today. She was supposedly also informed by a medium that she was being cursed by the restless spirits of the people killed by the Winchester repeating rifle, and that was why her baby and her husband died. She was also told to keep building until the day she died, and to never stop or the ghosts would get her too. Personally, I don't take too much stock in that part of the story. It's very likely that she did visit a medium and was told something to that effect. But I don't feel that in the house itself. I feel that perhaps she was a bit of a perfectionist, and if something didn't work out the way she thought it would, it was repurposed into something else. A common practice for her was to build on or around pre-existing structures without getting rid of what was already there. So I don't think the strange designs of her house were necessarily to keep angry spirits off her tail, but a perfectionist that didn't like waste. I do, however, feel like she was in tune with the other side. A spiritual architect, if you will. I also feel like the house, though a marvel and conversational piece, was more about family. It's an amazing place, and I suggest to everyone to read up about it. I really hope I got the facts right. It was from memory. Anyways, there is a reason that I affectionately call this house my house. I first saw the house the summer I turned 9, I believe. My grandmother had my sister and I every summer. While she was still driving, my grandmother used to try and find things for us to do while we were with her, and Winchester ended up being one of those things. My sister and I had never heard of it, so it was something new that we all could share. We couldn't see the house very well at first because of tall privacy hedges or trees, so we didn't get an idea of how big it actually was until we saw it from the garden. But for me, even though I couldn't see it, I truly felt like I was home. For a kid with the childhood I had, the feeling of home was foreign to me. Literally, the only constant place I had was my grandmother's mobile home. We moved all the time, so I learned not to get attached to anyone or anything. But this place was home. I mean, I wanted to get married there. I wanted to live there. I wanted to die there. I felt safe, welcomed, protected, and loved just walking outside of the place. It was calling to me. This is why I feel so protective about this house. I don't understand how anyone could be afraid of it or not love it at first sight. I don't watch other people's videos about it, and I don't watch when ghost chasers spend the night while they're looking for ghosts. I just can't do it. I love that house too much. In all honesty, if I had grown up in San Jose, I would have spent most of my life either inside of the place or camped outside. It's the same way I feel about cemeteries. My first job would have probably been as a tour guide or some other job where I could be there all day or all night. That's how much I love this house. And it was love at first sight. Hell, first sense. I was in love with it before I saw it. I just felt like I belonged there, and I still do. I love architecture and interior design. I can't get enough of stained glass, and I love numbers. The place has everything. Anywho, for those who came for the spookier side of this story, I'll tell you this. Winchester is haunted, but it's subtle. At the time I was first introduced to the place, I was doing everything in my power not to experience this spooky side of life. I had turned off most of my abilities and just ignored the rest of it for the most part. So the first 2 decades of my time with Winchester was pretty uneventful in the spooky sense. Really, the only strange thing about the house was my need to be there and the love and sense of belonging that came from it. The first time anything possibly spooky happened actually happened to my sister. The reason I say possibly is that there are some factors that could cause people to doubt. I don't not believe her, but one could argue the case. Here's what happened. I can't remember if it was Halloween night or just around Halloween, but my mother, stepfather, sister, and I decided to go on a midnight flashlight Winchester tour. I was in my late teens or possibly early 20s at the time, and still pretty closed off to the spooky. But I would never say no to Winchester. So we went. Now, a little context before we continue. Sarah Winchester, or Sally, as she was sometimes called, had arthritis. When it got really bad, she had a bunch of the stairs in the house changed out to low riders. These stairs are maybe 2 inches high and maybe 2 feet deep. We were headed upstairs to the earthquake rooms, I believe, and we had to use a set of these stairs. I was up front with the tour guide because I like talking with them while moving from room to room, and the rest of my family was near the back since my mom has hip problems. The tour guide, myself, and a handful of others had already cleared the stairs and were waiting across the room for the others when I hear a commotion on the stairs. I, of course, already knew what had happened and turned to the tour guide. I told them my sister tripped. Just before I heard my sister call out, "I'm all right, I'm okay, I just tripped." The tour guide, of course, rushed over, but my family were all just laughing as they continued up the stairs. You see, this is normal for my sister. She has OND that causes her to have bad depth perception. She can trip on flat ground, fall upstairs, open drawers and cabinets on herself, run into door frames, etc. Her proprioception is terrible. This is why we were unconcerned about her falling on the stairs. And nothing else happened on that tour. And we moved on. How was that spooky, you may ask? Well, here's the rest of the story. For the rest of the night and over the next couple of years, my sister told the story the same way, which was that she tripped on the low risers. But after a couple of years, her story changed. She then said that she had been pushed by an unknown entity. Could that have happened? Sure. Winchester has been known to have it happen. But did it happen to my sister? Possibly. I asked her why she was now saying that she was pushed when she had said for years that she had simply tripped, and she said she didn't think anyone would believe her. Fair enough. Now, I wasn't on the stairs with them, so I wasn't a witness. I neither sensed nor saw anything that would suggest that she was pushed, but again, I was not on the stairs. My mother, however, was. She was behind my sister and saw her fall. My mother is also a very strong sensitive. She has told me that she didn't see nor sense anything ghostly in or around the staircase when my sister fell. Does that mean it didn't happen? No. But questions could be asked. My mother could have also accidentally nudged my sister without her realizing it, and that could have sent her tumbling. After all, we were in the dark with only flashlights to light the way. Who knows? I certainly don't. However, I do know what happened to me. This story will be continued in part 2. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the journey with me. I'm not sure how often I'll be posting something here, so leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and the bell, so you get updated when I do post. If you have questions or you want to know more about something I've said, please leave a comment and maybe I'll make a video explanation on the subject. But please be polite and courteous with the comments. My feelings don't get hurt, but the world has enough hate and judgment in it. It doesn't need yours on this video. If you think you know who I am, please don't leave a comment guessing my identity. Just send an email to the address in the description box. Thanks, and I'll see you when I see you.